Imagine scrolling through real estate listings late at night. Clean kitchens, bright bedrooms, beautiful views. Each photo promises a new beginning, a fresh start, a dream waiting for its owner. But what if one of those homes wasn't just empty, but abandoned by someone who never meant to leave? What if the last person who lived there vanished without warning, without explanation, without ever being found? What if the silence inside wasn't peaceful, but unfinished? Tonight, you're about to step inside 3 real estate listings. Properties that look ordinary on the surface. But behind their doors lie mysteries that have never been solved. These homes were once filled with laughter, routines, and plans for the future. And then one day, nothing. No goodbye, no evidence, no answers, just absence. Before we begin, ask yourself something honestly. Would you buy a house if you knew someone disappeared inside it? Not moved away, not relocated. Disappeared without a trace. Because the 3 properties you're about to see are real listings connected to vanishings that investigators, families, and communities still cannot explain. Welcome to True Terror Files Official, your destination for the most disturbing real cases, unexplained disappearances, and true mysteries that refuse to stay buried. If you're drawn to the unknown, if you question what hides behind ordinary places, and if you want to explore stories that stay with you long after the video ends, make sure you subscribe now and join us. Because the deeper you go, the harder it is to come back. Our first listing sits far away from crowded streets, hidden behind trees, surrounded by silence. A mountain cabin that became the center of a disappearance so complete, it was as if its occupants had never existed at all. And yet, their belongings were still inside, waiting. The listing described it as peaceful, remote, perfect for those seeking privacy and escape from the modern world. Located deep within a forested mountain region, the cabin offered breathtaking views, fresh air, and total isolation. For Daniel and Rebecca Hayes, it was everything they had dreamed of. They purchased the cabin hoping to start over. Friends described them as quiet, but happy. They weren't running from anything. They weren't hiding. They simply wanted a slower life. And for 6 months, everything seemed normal. They shopped in a nearby town. They greeted locals. They renovated parts of the cabin until one week, they simply stopped appearing. At first, no one noticed. After all, they lived privately. But when Daniel missed a scheduled supply pickup he never would have skipped, concern began to grow. Authorities eventually visited the cabin. What they found inside made no sense. Their car was parked outside. Their phones were inside. Their wallets were on the kitchen counter. The dog was alive but hungry. And on the table sat 2 plates of food, untouched. There were no signs of struggle, no forced entry. No blood, no note, nothing missing. Looked as if they had simply stood up and walked out. Into nothing. Search teams combed the surrounding forest for weeks. Helicopters scanned from above. Volunteers searched on foot. No footprints, no clothing, no remains, no trail. It was as if the mountain had swallowed them whole. Months later, the cabin went back on the market. The listing made no mention of what happened there, just words like cozy, quiet, private, but locals knew. Some refused to go near it. Others claimed strange things, lights seen inside when no one lived there, shadows moving past windows, a feeling of being watched. Today, the cabin still waits for its next owner. But the question remains, what happened inside that peaceful home? And could it happen again? because our next property proves something even more disturbing. Sometimes you don't need isolation to disappear. Sometimes it happens in the middle of everything. The house looked like every other home on the street. Fresh paint, trimmed lawn, children's toys in the backyard. It belonged to the Carter family, Michael, Elena, and their 8-year-old son, Noah. They were ordinary, normal, predictable, until one morning they were gone. Michael didn't show up for work. Elena didn't answer calls. Noah didn't attend school. At first, people assumed they had gone on a trip, but they hadn't packed. Their car was still in the garage. Their phones were inside. Their passports remained in a drawer. Inside the home, everything was in place. Breakfast dishes in the sink, laundry in the basket, TV remote on the couch. Nothing disturbed, nothing stolen, nothing explained. In the modern world, disappearing completely is almost impossible. Phones track movement, banks track spending, cameras track faces. But investigators found nothing. No digital activity, no financial movement, no signal. It was as if the family had stepped outside and vanished mid-step. Neighbors reported nothing unusual. No sounds, no visitors, no arguments, just silence. Eventually, the home was listed for sale. Open house events were scheduled. Families walked through the rooms. Children played in Noah's old bedroom. Some buyers said the house felt normal. Others said it felt wrong. Not haunted, just empty in a way that didn't feel natural, like something had ended there, but never concluded. The home eventually sold. The new owners moved in. They stayed for 11 months. Then they left. They never explained why. They simply sold it again. Which brings us to the third listing, a place where disappearances didn't happen once, but again and again across generations. The townhouse stood tall among modern buildings, older, darker, different. Built more than 130 years ago, it had passed through many owners, and over time, a pattern began to form. In 1932, a man living alone vanished. His belongings remained, his bed was slept in, his watch sat beside it, but he was never seen again. In 1967, another occupant disappeared. No explanation, no evidence, no resolution. Decades later, it happened again. Each time, the story repeated: normal life, ordinary routines, then nothing. Real estate agents avoided discussing it, but records existed, quietly, buried in archives. The most recent disappearance happened only 12 years ago. A woman named Claire lived alone. She spoke regularly with her sister, until one day she didn't. Police entered the townhouse. Inside, they found her coffee still warm, her shoes by the door, her phone charging, but Claire was gone. Today, the townhouse is listed again, fully renovated, modern interior, value. But those who visit sometimes report strange feelings, not sightings, not sounds, just unease. The sense that something about the place is unfinished, waiting. 3 properties, 3 locations, multiple lives, all connected by one impossible question. How does someone disappear completely from inside their own home? No evidence, no answers, no closure. These houses still stand, still waiting, still silent. Maybe the truth is simple. Maybe it's complicated. Or maybe some places hold secrets that refuse to be found. Now we ask you, Which house disturbed you the most? The mountain cabin, the suburban home, or the historic townhouse? More importantly, would you live there? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to continue exploring the world's most disturbing unsolved mysteries, subscribe to True Terror Files Official, because the next story might be even closer to home.